If you've got an overall business strategy, don't have a safety strategy that looks completely different. Make sure your safety approach lines up with that. Because the senior management will buy into it then, because they can think, oh, okay, when I need to deliver this part, this is how safety fits with it. And we've been really clear that we've got a global business strategy that's under a banner called Simplify, which is great. And our safety strategy sits underneath that, headed up as Simplify Safety. And people buy into that.
We've taken a similar model with Lloyds in terms of looking at our critical risks and saying these are the things that actually 92% of all of our data is telling us that we want you to do. So that means that we can simplify our message to say these are the things we want you to do. And we don't have to focus so much about the other things.
If they have the feeling that they can really drive and influence, that makes you step in and to understand what they can do. Instead of looking at the graph and say, hey, we had so many incidents or lost days during the last month. You get their buy-in and they will drive safety.
We probably underestimate the fact that they're not so happy to see just the typical lagging indicators that they see all the time. But they're not the experts, so they're just getting what they always get, what they've always got, what they will always get in the future as well. So it still goes back to having the courage to say, should we just have a chat about this one leading indicator? Everyone always wants to go in, we have to have leading indicators. No one ever says, let's just have one and let's see, get the buy-in of just doing one and proving that something can work. Because when you try and concentrate on 5, it's a big, tall task when you've always had lagging indicators as part of your history. But we just assume that they're happy to see these figures.
Safety has been very much focused in ABB for many years. And when the new manager came, said, we need to look into health, we need to look at, human rights, travel security, and rightly now into environment. So one of the ways was to develop this dashboard and that it has different indicators and the color code, really nice. But I think what stays on that dashboard is the number of fatalities. So at the one hand is to expand and broaden the view of HSE sustainability, but also
you still got to stay with the core drivers of why you're doing it as well.
Exactly. So we still report the lagging indicators. We've got all of the metrics that you would expect to see that you've all got. And probably like you in terms of your programs, what we now focus a lot more conversation on is the HSE action plan. So what are we planning to do for the next 3 years, and then what are those activities, whether they're related to new programs or technology, and then ragging each of those activities and then reporting that every quarter. So, could be we want to get a better metric on working time so we can understand fatigue issues. So we make that kind of a clear objective that we can measure and then report that. And that drives a more forward-looking conversation about, well, who's not getting the data and what are the problems you're having, rather than, we've had another lost time injury and it's a musculoskeletal or this has happened. It's not a meaningful conversation, but a conversation that's about actually where are we on our improvement plan and what's working and what's not working, and having some difficult conversations when a metric is red as to why it's red is I think more meaningful.